Good evening. It is the club call time. Me and Jack are ready. We've got our headphones in. They're in.
Yeah.
They're already in.
They're in. We're ready.
Ready to go. There's no tech problems. There's a person sitting over there so we can have calls. So loads of people last week were like, we're going to call in because there was only me and Baz here. And it made it impossible. Or was he? I don't even know if Baz was here. It might have been me and John.
Did you still call it the club call?
Yeah,
though,
of course we did, because
call?
that's the name of the show.
Yeah, but was anyone actually able to call in?
No.
Oh.
But you don't change the name of the show because of that.
Just be club then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, it's just club. It's just a name. Just a name.
Should have just rang me on the phone and just held me up to the thing and being like, what you reckon?
So you can give us a call if you're on Toffee TV Premier. The link is there. So anyone who was moaning last week, then you can give us a call. Ned is ready to take your call because we haven't got Gary Neville.
Yeah. Do we have like waiting music? Like, you know, like when you're like on hold, when you've got to ring up like the bank or whatever, and like you're on hold, and it's got.
When was the last time you rung anything and was put on hold?
A couple of months ago. I can't remember what it was for, but it was on hold for a while.
Was it for your barbers?
No, because they just pick up whenever I ring them. So they go, we've not hit we thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead, sir.
Thought you was dead.
Yeah, so give us a call on anything you want to talk about. Fab Romano has just got. I'm not sure if he's gone full. Here we go. I'll have a look now. No, he's not gone full. Here we go. He's just said Everton are closing in on a deal for Oriol Mangala to join on loan with a buy option clause from Lyon. Players already accepted conditions, and then cited the person who really done the story, and the person who he just stole the story off.
Yeah, that's what he does, isn't it?
In classic.
The Mirror have said obligation to buy. But
yeah,
the more common stories option, isn't it? Which is good for us.
Obligation would not surprise me considering it's Lyon. I mean, I'm not like casting any aspersions here, but come on.
Feels like you're casting aspersions.
Come on. We've already bought a play from Lyon, and we're linked with two more. Feels like there might be a link somewhere.
Yeah.
To Lyon. Not sure what that link is. When are they going
to buy a player from us? We're doing all the heavy lifting here. Come and buy Mopé.
Mason Holgate and Mopé would be tremendous.
Oh, imagine Holgate in France.
Yeah, giving it the bonjour.
It'd be like Emily in Paris, except it'd be Mason in Lyon.
That sounds like a cop drama. Mason in Lyon.
Mason in Lyon, or like a perfume. Mason in Lyon.
Home.
Home.
I mean, you're not allowed to do that's stereotyping. I've been to France many times and I've never heard anyone gone.
Frog leg, baguette.
Frog leg.
Yeah.
You know, people in France don't like just sit there talking in English, putting on that heavy accent.
No, I imagine.
Okay.
If you went into a restaurant in France and you went, oh, you know, like, what do you recommend? And he went like, frog legs.
No one, no one does that. No one does that.
Like you do somewhere.
I don't think
there's at least one person doing it in France.
They do. No,
at least one. There's got to be.
Doesn't happen. Doesn't not.
All stereotypes are true, though, aren't they?
Just feels like you're creating stereotypes.
That's just my way.
Yeah. So I mean, do we need a holding midfielder?
Yeah, we do. Not just in terms of quality in the middle. We need bodies in the middle as well, because we are a little bit thin on the ground, especially if James Garner is going to be having stints at right back, which seems a possibility. Especially if Dixon does go out on loan because the manager wants him to get consistent football. But then you look at the options we've got as well. We've got Tim Iroegbunam, who started the season really well.
Yeah.
A good piece of business by us, but he's still young. And we know the manager doesn't love playing young players when he doesn't have to. He values experience. Idrissa Gana Gueye, who can't play every game this season, just with his age, you need the option to be able to take him out. And it doesn't seem... You'd never bet on Gay's legs going because he is a very, very fit player, but it is always something you have to consider with any older player. You just have to take it in. James Garner, again, obviously, might be having spells at right back. And the only other option that leaves you is Abdoulaye Doucouré, who isn't technically strong enough to play in the middle. Good in terms of winning the ball back and his recoveries, and the manager does like him behind the striker, even though Ndai should be playing there. But he's not good enough on the ball to be playing in the midfield at home.
Yeah, it's interesting that, I mean, considering we can't score goals, it is interesting once again that we are going after it. We seem to be getting a player who isn't renowned for scoring goals when we are in desperate need of someone who can score or create goals. I know it, obviously any position on the pitch, if you improve it, will mean that you have a better chance of scoring goals, because ultimately if you improve every position, you will score. If you have less reliance on numbers, defending in numbers, you can get more men forward. So maybe that's how the manager looks at it. Maybe that's how maybe it's a player that's been presented and they don't have the option. Basically, they've just got to take what they can. And I suppose if we're going to play, if we have two in there, then you'd like two as well, two backups. You should have a backup for every position. Yeah. So obviously, it makes sense, I suppose. So we'll wait and see whether that one goes through. It does look like it's got a good chance of going through. And then we'll wait and see whether the other rumour player goes through as well. What's his name?
Ernest Nuama.
Nuama is how you pronounce it. Ned knows how to pronounce it because everyone knows he's fantastic at French and stuff. Yeah. Right, we got Ben. Yeah. Let's get Ben on here then. Go on, Ben. What have you got to say?
Hello, lads. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Got no.
Oh, legends. Sorry, big fan of the show. First time on. Thanks for having me. First off, where are you guys at with sort of a striker? Because in terms of we've got Beto, we've got DCL, but obviously our big problem is goals, right? Would you guys consider or even think about just dropping a striker in general, maybe playing Ndai further up front, maybe not even as a striker, but adding that extra player in sort of the midfield? Because obviously throughout the years it's always been, we don't create enough chances, there's always a lone striker, they're always up the pitch, they're never getting involved. What if we just swap our system? I don't think I've ever heard anyone sort of talk about how outdated sort of our long ball system is, and we always cater or look in the market for this big, tall, strong striker, but when we get them, it doesn't work for us. All these tactics don't work, and I think we just need to change our whole style of play rather than sticking to hoof the ball up to a big, strong striker, and it hasn't really worked for us as of late.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, you make a good point. I mean, so does the frog as well, by the way, that is in the background. I think it's a difficult one because the manager is so he's only really got one system, hasn't he? He's got one system that he likes. He's always going to play with a big centre forward no matter what. I don't think he's got the ability to change his way of playing football. And I do get the point, and obviously a lot of modern football now is played through the pitch. You don't necessarily need a centre forward as such. You can play as a, look at Arsenal at the moment with Kai Havertz. Yeah. Manchester City did it for a while, and a lot of teams do that now. And then Dye could be a good fit for that if you know how to play. But unfortunately, I think our team is so reliant on having an out ball because all we do is play long ball. So in theory, you're right. I just think that everything would have to change, and I just wonder whether Sean Dyche has got the ability to do that as a coach. I'm not convinced because there's no evidence so far. I've not seen any evidence whatsoever that he has a different style than the one he's shown already. I think we struggled a little bit last night because of how much we were given the ball by Doncaster at times. Certainly in the second half, not as much in the first half because we didn't have it that much. But it's unusual for his Everton team to have the ball as much. So I think it's always going to be a Dominic Calvert-Lewin or a Beto or a Chimiti, and I just can't really see him. I think he does like playing. That's why he likes having that second striker, which he's always had. He had that at Burnley as well. That second striker who does play in between the midfield and the striker, and it did work, to be honest, when he was at Burnley, and it worked with Decore when he first come in. So it's just a case of getting the best out of that system at the moment. Ned, I'm not getting anything. No. Okay. Has Ben gone? Okay. Okay. Thanks, Ben. There you go. By the way, the frog is not at our end. If you ring up using your mobile phone and you're not on Wi-Fi, we will more than likely get the frog. So if you want it to be frog free, use Wi-Fi. Jack didn't hear any of that because
no, and that's your fault because you said we've got no tech issues.
It's not my fault. I
jinxed it.
Ned told me we didn't have any tech issues.
You trusted him.
At some point, you have to trust Ned. Ned, I can hear something.
Yeah, same.
I can hear somebody.
It might just be them. Is it?
No, but
is it
it's
like
Ben again.
It's Ben.
Oh,
Ben's still there. Ben's still
there.
there.
That's why. Yeah.
Hello, Ben. I can hear you now.
Ben's still there. Go on, Ben.
Because I fixed it.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. Just one last thing. The first half of last night's game, awful, obviously.
Yeah.
Volume, okay.
What were your thoughts overall on the game? I know that you do the final word, and I've had a look at that.
Yeah.
But in general, when you're watching it there, I'm thinking it's the same old problems, and we're just not getting any better. I know you started off with a good team, liked it, but we showed no desire in the first half. We got a goal through, which I thought was a bit lucky, a bit of a deflection, but we then spurred on. But it's Doncaster. I know they've showed us a good run in the past, but compared to Prem teams, if we're playing like that in the first half against Prem teams, we're in big trouble. And for the manager to not even acknowledge how poor it was the first half, he kind of said it was going as planned, and then we started letting off in the second half. But I think that's appalling. That's disgusting. If he thinks that first half was acceptable for us going into Bournemouth, I just wanted to sort of see what you overall thought, because the scoreline didn't depict the game for me. I was very disappointed.
It was far too passive in the first half, wasn't it? And you're not looking for the initiative you want to see, let alone against Doncaster. But I think in general, we wanted last night to be a sign that we are going to start moving in the right direction now, and we are going to make an effort to be a bit more on the front foot, because that's where we've been letting ourselves down massively in our opening two games. And I think we did see it at times in the second half, especially once the game was effectively done and we could just control the tempo. But yeah, it wasn't quite enough, was it? 3-0 is a decent scoreline, but like you say, watching it for a 90-minute game, there wasn't really enough sign to show that, no, this team is capable of getting on the ball a little bit more and controlling a game for the majority of a 90-minute period. And
it's against Preston. Doncaster.
Yeah, against Doncaster. If you want us to be able to dominate the game for large sections of a Premier League match, then you need to be able to dominate it pretty much start to finish against a team like Doncaster. No disrespect, but the several divisions below, and you expect the quality to shine through, and you expect us to feel the freedom to go and attack, don't you?
What I would say, Ben, is, and I think this fixture is always traditionally terrible, and I'm not saying that excuses last night, by the way, in terms of in the first half. I think it's always typically poor, and I think the reason it's so poor is because Everton always generally play a mixture of players have been on the bench and new signings in this game, because Everton haven't gotten themselves up to speed quick enough to get those players into the game. So those players often play up. And I think last night, we've got to remember, there was 6 players playing having their first start of the season. The likes of Seamus Coleman, the likes of James Garner, Jake O'Brien obviously coming in, and then Diane Lindstrom. And I think, I just think for last night, for that first half, Doncaster got on the ball, head of steam, their fans were giving it big time. And I think in the first half, don't get me wrong, I was as frustrated as anybody. But I think when the game finished, I was more looking at the situation thinking they used the first half, a lot of them, just to blow the cobwebs off. And I think once they came out second half, and you could tell, like, it was good that there wasn't any changes. I thought that, and we could just start getting into the game. And I thought we got into the game really well. And once we got the first goal, they completely went and we dominated that second half. And I think for me, what it was more than anything last night, is it was mostly like a glorified extra friendly for, like, with a little bit extra pace for loads of players who just haven't started this season. And I think that's the best way to look at it, because these games are always poor. And you've got to remember,
you're right.
I think what you got to remember is for Doncaster, that was a big game last night. You know what I mean? Like a real, like, that's often why we slip up in these games when they're away, because when they're away, and you know, Doncaster last season we nearly slipped up. You know, a couple of years ago under Rafa Benitez, I think we went to Huddersfield and we nearly slipped up. We needed like a last minute goal, I think.
Doncaster away under Dyche.
That's what I'm saying. And Moise Keane got sent off in that one. And then you know, you can go back years with this with the second round of the cup, and it's like it's either. Yeah, we've had so many games that are really close. And for me, to run out 3-0 last night, and for the likes of Ndiaye to put in a performance where you go, you know what, that might get him into the team on Saturday. Or for everyone to look at Jake O'Brien and go, yeah, he's all right. And for James Garner and Seamus Coleman to come back, I think that's really important as well for the squad, and Tim Irabuna to have a good game. So overall, I think confidence-wise, it's good for everybody. You're absolutely right. The first half was really, really poor. But I just think it was a case of players coming back. So listen, I think the first two games have been really, really disappointing. And you can almost, it's very tempting to just throw that on the bonfire as well and go, see, that was terrible as well. But I think in the end, all that really matters is the result, and players have got a game of footy. And we all do it. We all there'll be lots of people a hard time last night who would have been sitting here going, this is a disgrace, this is not good enough. But I think the fact that it was 0-0 at half time was like, we didn't have to ride out the storm, but that was Doncaster's best opportunity to hurt us last night, was in the first half, where people weren't fully up to speed. So I'm all right with last night. I must admit, I'm all right with it. I'd like to have seen like Dixon come on earlier rather than Ashley Young. Maybe Dixon starting the game, but I'm all right with it if I'm honest, because we scored 3 goals and we're into the next round, and we'll find out tonight. Obviously, we're playing.
Would you start Lindstrom and Bournemouth?
No, I wouldn't. I thought Lindstrom was rubbish last night.
What about an assist?
So did I.
I thought he was rubbish.
I want to see what you thought.
No, honestly, I thought he was rubbish, mate. And that's not me going, I think he's a rubbish player. I just thought he was rubbish last night. And we discussed it earlier, I think, on one of the shows.
Didn't he?
We were saying before, imagine telling a player who's played in France or Italy that you're having a game against a team 3 divisions below them, and then a team like Doncaster turn up. We looked organised, we're good on the ball, we're physical, and he probably wasn't ready for that at all, and he just looked off the pace. And I think he's a player who's going to take time. We seen with the first goal, he's got a little bit of a trick in him, and he slowed the game down nicely and used the ball, and really should have had an assist. For me, it's Tim Irabuna's goal, not Dwight McNeil's. But he's going to take a little bit of time. But I'd definitely start on Saturday, because he showed that.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, because he showed something that Lindstrom didn't show, was that, like, I know how to grab this game by the scruff of the neck, and Lindstrom didn't quite see that. I mean, what did you think, Jack?
Yeah, I think Ndiaye's the main one, isn't he? You can say, oh, it's against Doncaster, it's against whoever, but it's not just what he's done in the game, but you can judge how he wants to play the game, like you say, and what his approach to playing football is, and it's all positive. You know, his first half, when he was behind the striker, he was moving all across that front line, going to pick up the ball, using both feet and getting it out his feet quickly, moving it on. And that for me is what we've been missing. Yeah, he'll have to step it up against better opposition, but that style of player, definitely. Going to get the ball, receiving it, moving it on quick, and then moving to receive it. Again, that's dead simple stuff, but it's more than we've been getting from Decore in that role, because the technique's so much better. And then the goal, you know, to turn his man, to take them on. Again, comfortable with both feet when he's dribbling, and a quality low-driven shot to score. That is more than we have from Decore, Harrison, McNeil, a lot of them. That's more than they've shown.
Yeah. No, I've never seen any of them do that, so... Yeah, nice one, Ben.
Nice one, lads.
Thanks,
for
mate.
having me
Nice one, Ben.
See you later. Ta-ra, mate. Thanks. Nice one to Ben. That's it. That's all you got to do. Give us a call. It is better if you've got Wi-Fi because you get less frog noise. It also is better if you've got headphones as well because you get less background noise as well. So if you want to give us a... Oh, what are you pointing at your ears for?
Saying how big your ears are. Stupid eared looking bitch.
Is your mic on, Ned?
Yeah.
I'll take that. Because what I liked was how he was thinking about it, like he didn't have a plan.
Yeah. But you know what? He got there.
He got there in the end, and I'm all day for that. I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem. I still don't know why he was pointing to his ears. Were you basically asking Jack if he could hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is good.
You can hear it from here anyway, can't you?
Yeah, because I'm a big-eared bitch. Unlike you, you're just a fat bitch. You fat bitch.
Come on now.
I'm not now, lost a stone.
Oh, God, lost the stone, did you? Because your mum and dad went away, no one to feed you.
Well, I actually put a bit back on over the holiday, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
standard.
there you go. Yeah, just give us a call. If you're on Toffee TV Premier, give us a call. Get in touch with us. There was a few last week, the likes of Eddie, the likes of Brian, all wanted to get in touch with us last week. So give us a call tonight. There's loads going on. We've got 2 days left of the transfer, 2 full days of the transfer window open. And as we've just been discussing there, are we looking at the right players? I mean, we've been linked with the right winger from left-footed right winger from Lyon. That surely is what we need, isn't it?
Yeah.
A centre midfielder is not the priority, I'd say. I mean...
But there's no harm in working on 2 deals at the same time.
No.
I mean, if one's a loan, that's going to be a very low expense up front as well. You'd assume if they're working on a deal for a winger who's going to cost, what, in the region of 25 million, that is an outgoing going on. Simply as we can't loan 2 players from Lyon, we can loan in Mangala. We're going to have to buy the Ernest Nuamar or whatever his name is.
We can only have one more loan, can't we?
Yeah.
International loan. And we've... So...
But there's no harm in working on 2 at the same time if they can be done. But I think at the moment we probably only have the capacity to bring in Mangala. We'll probably need to make a sale or something.
Well, Neil Maupay is. I think he's on the verge of leaving the club. I think he'll probably go back to France. Marseille is the one he looks like he's going to. The manager spoke last night. I mean, in fact, if Ned's ready, he might have a clip of the manager talking about Neil Maupay. No, he hasn't got that clip. No, he's not ready. I wanted to put him on the spot just to see how he reacted. And
give me a minute, man.
We'll get back to that in a minute. I just thought he'd be ready. I thought Ned might have that ready. The clip of the manager speaking.
If there's one thing you expect from Ned is you can turn to him and say, "Do you have this clip?" And he'll turn around and have the clip.
It's his readiness that is one of the.
Doing several jobs.
You're not doing several jobs, are you?
I've got an OnlyFans. I've got.
Remember when he said before, I'll do that thing while we're doing the show instead of just doing it before the show?
I've done it anyway, but
yeah.
I'm trying to get Eddie on, but Eddie's disappeared. I don't know where you've gone, Eddie. Come back. So what you?
Where are you, Eddie? He's in Texas.
Back to what you know.
No, it's not. It's not for singing. It's not for singing.
It's not.
No, but I think. Listen, I do think we need some pace in the wide areas. The four that started the previous 2 games in the Premier League, that can't be the 4 going forward.
No.
It just can't be. We can't be relying on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I think Fab Romano said as well in the last hour or on his podcast, they said there's like no immediate interest in Dominic Calvert-Lewin from what he knows. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin may be staying. He may not be staying on the last day. People will probably come knocking, maybe.
I'm not being funny. If there's no interest in him, he needs to gain an understanding of the fact that maybe no one's willing to pay him what he thinks he's worth.
Yeah.
Now, he's got an idea of what he thinks he's worth, and that's fine. That's all well and good. But if no one wants to pay him it, then he has to be realistic, and he's going to have to knuckle down if he stays at Everton. Yeah,
and obviously that can often change things though when you haven't signed the contract and you go past the deadline. But then he might be thinking, I'll have a free at the end of the year. Have we got Eddie or?
No, he's not returned.
Have you got the clip of the manager?
But speaking of people leaving Everton, and hopefully one of them being Maupay, here's what the manager.
What's his first name?
Neil.
What's his first name?
Neil.
What's his first name?
Neil.
What do you think his first name is?
Neil. If you're asking how I think it should be pronounced, it's Neil.
Okay. Go on then, play the clip.
Neil.
Possibly, we're waiting. It was just a risk and reward scenario. There's possibly something going to happen, but we're waiting on that. But it was just one of them where we thought, well, common sense prevails.
There you go. So the manager, in a very short and sweet, basically saying, well, I ain't playing him because he's gone, and I want him gone, and I don't want him round this club, and yeah.
Yeah, I think we knew anyway, didn't we, that Dyche doesn't particularly fancy him. I feel like he would have been off regardless, and then the actions, the events of the last few days have just sort of made that final, haven't they?
Right, we've got Eddie.
Hello?
Go on, Ed.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, mate.
Okay,
Go on.
Cool. So I have two things here.
Go on, mate.
The first is, why don't we loan out our youngsters? Like, I understood, like, now that, like, our injury crisis is almost over, isn't it time to, like, I haven't seen any rumors at least, but, like, shouldn't we be trying to send out Dixon, Metcalf, and Armstrong out?
We might do. The manager was asked that question on Saturday. And at first he was perplexed by it. He was like, and then the guy sort of said, no, maybe on loan. So they might, and those deals, there'll be lots of representatives from teams in the Championship and League One right now ringing up Everton, asking the availability of Dixon and Harrison Armstrong, knowing that Everton aren't a club that are renowned for using youngsters, or they'll be parked on the bench, and Everton will have a decision to make. If they can get in, excuse me, if Everton can get in a couple of players in the next 48 hours, then Everton, and then they have a squad that can fill a bench as well, then I imagine Everton will let both of those players go. Certainly as one of them's a centre midfield, and certainly as we are well stocked at right back. So yeah, I imagine they will go.
Yeah, because I understood earlier, but now that our squad's almost fit, we have like 3 or 4 right back, or 3 or 4 people that can play right back, and then we're signing up. It looks like we're gonna get another center mid, and then we have like 4 people in the center, 4 or 5 in the midfield. So I feel they won't get opportunities anymore, and I think it's a waste of their time to sit on our bench at this point. In my opinion, like I get that like training with the first team is important, but I think game time for them is probably more needed. And same thing with Virginia. Like now that we got Begovic, do we need to either sell or loan him out again?
Never need another keeper, won't we?
Yeah, I think in terms of loaning them out, and yeah, I think they would benefit from it. The issue in the short term is that they make up half the bench, don't they? And hopefully as we do start getting players in, we have even less reliance on them to make up the numbers. And we seen that last year, didn't we? I think realistically, Lewis Dobbin needed a loan last year, but we needed them to stay and, play a small role off the bench and make the occasional appearance. And it's just down to how thin our squad was, and still is in many respects, but hopefully we will get a couple of signings in and there's even less reliance on them, and we can afford to say, you know what, there's no point in you sitting on the bench every week and playing 3 games for us over the course of the season. Go to League 2, go to League 1 and get regular, constant experience.
Yeah, I think the Virginia situation is interesting because I think he's out of contract next summer, and I think Everton, if someone had come in for him, I think Everton would have listened for an offer for Virginia with having an experienced backup now available, and having at least one of the youngsters. Obviously, Tara's gone to Blackpool, and I know Billy Crelland, there was a couple of clubs in for him last week, and that's gone quiet. I'm not 100% sure why that is. I might find out, but that'd be one deal that Everton might be willing to do if it was a case of if it could free up some money to bring in other players. So the youngsters, definitely, I think, don't be surprised if on Friday at some point you hear that Dixon's gone somewhere. But hopefully, I mean, for us, I think I'd like him to go to like a championship team.
Agreed,
like an upper championship team, or certainly somewhere that he's going to play for the season. I'd like to see him play, because I don't want him. It's great going, I don't know, one of the top 6 teams in the Championship's coming for him, and then he sits on the bench. I mean, that's absolutely pointless. At this stage, he needs to be playing. He needs to be playing for Everton right now. He needs to be playing for a team right now if he's not playing for Everton. He needs to get that education. And now, that could be anyone in the Championship, but I think that's the level we want him to be playing at. So then if he comes back next year, we're like, this kid is ready to be in our first team, or certainly being around our first team, with it being a situation that Seamus Coleman probably isn't going to be involved and Ashley Young isn't going to be involved, and we won't know where we are with Nathan Patterson, but we have a situation where it is Roman Dixon and Patterson, and another if Patterson isn't seen as the future. So that would be the ideal situation. It's great thinking that, wouldn't it be lovely to have Roman Dixon at Everton this season, but it'd be pointless, wouldn't it, Jack, if he just sits on the bench and he's literally 4th choice right back?
Yeah, and we don't want to hurt his progression, do we, by keeping him around in case of an emergency, but hindering his development, because they are key years, the early years, and a lot of the top young players who are getting constant football at the big clubs, they've had those loan spells in their earlier years to go out and develop and get that regular football. And you know what, maybe it's not as high a starting point as going to a promotion chasing Championship side. Maybe it does go down to League One, and maybe it's in 2 years we revisit the idea of Roman Dixon coming in to be a starter at right back, and he has a slower progression. But I think whatever level he goes to, it has to be constant football, doesn't it? Constant match experience in a team where he can shine but also learn. Have the opportunities to develop in senior football, but it is so different, isn't it? It's senior football to youth football, even though they have official leagues and everything, they are effectively friendlies between kids.
The under 21s it's ridiculous.
It's a different sport, isn't it? And I think it'd be good for him if he goes out on loan, and we just have to bring in the players, so there is no need to keep the likes of Dixon and Harrison Armstrong around to fill the bench.
Yeah. And then real quickly here, the other thing is, after watching yesterday's game, when I saw the subs come on, I realized how short we are on the wide, because it was literally just Harrison was their only option off the bench to go on the wing.
Yeah.
We put Ashley Young out there, but he's not really.
Nah, you just killed him. Why have you just killed him, Ned?
Trying to find out what the feedback.
I don't really care. I'm listening to Eddie.
He stopped talking now, anyway.
Well, we'll stop talking because you cut him off.
He stopped talking.
I know, because we couldn't hear him.
Yeah, can you hear him?
Go on, say that last bit again, Ed. Sorry, Ned cut you off because he said he hates you.
What was the last thing you heard?
How about Harrison? You said only Harrison.
Oh yeah, only Harrison, and then we put Ashley Young on the other end as our winger per se. But it's so sad to see that, and I feel honestly we need 2 wingers, not 1, at this point, because it's just rough to our bench is so weak on the wings, and then the wingers we do have just don't really have the pace to beat it, because the Tottenham game, if we had anyone that could run relatively quickly, we might be able to get behind their high line, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we get the dude from Lyon or someone else as well, but we'll see.
We definitely could do with some pace out wide. 100% need some pace out wide, and because that is one of the things we've got the likes of Lindstrom and we've got Ndai there, who are sort of similar. The number 10's being squeezed into the wide positions. We need a proper wide man who can attack with pace and cut in onto their favoured foot, because we just don't have any pace in any wide areas, and it's something that we have to develop and get better at doing. But you can only do that if you've got the players.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. There's a lot of issues in our team that are tactical issues, but when you look at our flanks, it's very much a personnel issue, isn't it? Because we have a complete absence of pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that any more, Ed?
No, that's all on my end. Thank you, guys.
Top man.
Nice one, Ed.
Speak to you soon, mate. Right, we've got Chris. Can you hear all right? Ned? Jack?
No.
Okay. Chris, go on, mate.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sounds,
You all right? How you doing?
Not too bad, mate.
Just a quick one, really, about the stadium. Obviously, Oasis Mania going around.
Yeah.
Rumored to be making 15 million for the local economy. And I know, obviously, Oasis are obviously going to pick Manchester over us, but I was particularly disappointed with Paul McCartney going to the Co-op Live arena.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, am I, because when these bands are releasing upcoming gigs, I'm always hopeful that Everton Stadium will appear. Is it too early for that, do you think? Or am I overthinking it?
I think it's too early, to be honest. I think something like this, I think this Oasis booking concerts, the booking of the gigs will have been done a while ago. And I think for that, you need to have you need to know that wherever you're going is going to be 100% ready, and I don't think anyone wants, because you just mentioned there the Co-op Arena.
Yeah.
No one wants a situation that will happen with the Co-op Arena. No one wants that again. It's bad for everybody. And Oasis, obviously, with you can imagine if any of their concerts got cancelled because the venue was new. God, I mean, the people would just burn the place down, wouldn't they? So, so I think it's not surprising. I could see Everton maybe next summer having something, but it being a little bit more smaller scale, not to the not having one of the biggest like reunions ever in like the European history or whatever. And I think that you have to. I think they've understood that you need to go somewhere where it's already done. Everyone knows the situation, because there must be we look at it as a football stadium, of course, and we look at we know Goodison, the familiarity with Goodison. It's been there for 132 years, and people must know every single plug and socket and everything in that ground, where everything goes. Whereas this, can you imagine, anyone who saw like the trucks for Taylor Swift, there was just like trucks and trucks and trucks and trucks, and all that stuff has to be powered somehow, and you need the confidence that nothing's going to break, and wherever that concert is can handle the demands of all that power and all everything. So to say, right, the first gig's going to be at Bramley Moor, and someone's like, where do I plug this in, or where's that go, or can we handle the power, or can we even handle the amount of people who are going to come?
Just going to have to find out.
Yeah, just find out, Salon. So I think it is too early, and I think we'll have probably some smaller events, where everything can be done and everything can be tested. And there's no high pressure, no high stakes. As I said, that Co-op Arena, that was the problem with that it wasn't all tested, and suddenly it's like, oh, it's open today. Who've we got? Oh, like Nicki Minaj and Fleetwood Mac or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like it was like, no, that. So I think probably the following summer, you'll start getting those big names, and those people will have had a year then, because everything's normally booked a year in advance. I mean, look, they're not playing till next summer, but those things would have been probably booked. There's an idea that like this Oasis thing was like just sudden. My arse, it was just sudden. These will have known for a good year that they were reforming, and that they were going to be playing in 2 years' time at Wembley. Because if you want those nights, you've got to make sure you're ahead of everybody else and all that kind of thing. So, I think if you wait another year, then Everton will start attacking the stadium, so we'll start attacking those big names and start adding to the finances of Everton Football Club. But certainly it's a bit disappointing that we've missed out on a concert of this magnitude. The place will have to prove itself.
It wasn't as much as the Oasis one. I think for me it was the Paul McCartney one. I was really
but the Paul McCartney one. Yeah, but the problem with the Paul McCartney one, it's in December or November. You ain't playing gigs. The pitch. They aren't going to be happy with concerts. They'll be rocking up to play league fixtures, and Paul McCartney will Sonny learn some. So I think what Liverpool needs is a new big ass arena next to the stadium. Fill that dock in and build a new big ass arena there, and call it the Everton Arena next to the Everton Stadium. And if someone had the foresight and the money to do that, you will get your Paul McCartneys in the middle of winter. or whoever in the middle of winter. But go on.
Sorry, we can look forward to the Beatles for now, then, yeah.
Yeah. We'll put it this way: I'm going to Paris to see Paul McCartney rather than going to Manchester because it's twice. You know, I think it's about 75 quid, and I'd rather go to Paris. And the Paris arena is the arena where they had the swimming in the Olympics, and they play rugby in there. It's huge. So that's the kind of arena we need in Liverpool if we're going to attract these huge artists when it's not summertime and you can't have outside gigs, obviously.
Yeah, the 8,000 for the Echo.
No, the Echo's too small now. You're right. It's attracting. It's not even the bootleg Beatles. It's attracting. I seen an advert the other day for bleeding a Taylor Swift tribute act and a bleeding ABBA tribute act. I mean, that's not good enough. If we're going to start losing concerts like we used to Manchester, we need to up our game. And that's the bloody someone like the Friedkins. If someone seen that opportunity, man, fill that dock in next door and let's build a big ass arena there.
Toffee TV arena. It's 25,000.
The Jack and Ned arena, I'm going to call it. You wouldn't get any sound.
No.
And if you did, it'd just be like...
I do live sound every week.
Shut up, Ned. You don't do anything.
I'm surprised you can't hear my live
You're like
sound.
David Guetta. You just press a button and sound comes out of a machine. That's what you're like, Sunshine.
I'll put you in a machine.
Often the wrong sounds.
Yeah, often the wrong sounds. Go on.
Just one more. I know you've got a couple of guys waiting. So,
go on.
Just about football. I thought it was interesting yesterday that even though McNeil was on the pitch, Lindstrom was taking the set pieces. I'm just wondering if that might be Dyche testing the waters there. And like Bazo says, McNeil's obviously feels like special teams. And is this finally a way to get him out the team?
Well, I've seen it. McNeil took a couple of corners in the first half, I think. But I think the thing is with Dyche is he does really favour in swinging corners, but obviously we've not had quality right-footed set-piece takers, really. But James Garner's been our best option, hasn't he? And I think obviously that sometimes led us to need McNeil to take them on both sides, which isn't really what Dyche wants. He wants in-swinging corners more often than not. So I think maybe we see Lindstrom taking them on his right foot and McNeil on his left, but just going back to in-swingers more often than not, maybe. And then free kicks, it obviously depends on the angle, doesn't it?
It's good to have a variation, isn't it? Because like anything else, people will get used to and will understand how to defend our set pieces. So it's important that we have variation. And obviously, if Lindstrom does have that variation, then you've got to use it in any occasion you get, because you will have multiple different scenarios during a game, whether it's corners from either side or free kicks from either side. And if someone looks better in training and has been doing it in training, and Lindstrom clearly must have if he was given that opportunity, and we saw him scored the free kick on his debut at Preston. So good, that's what we want. We want variation, and if that's good enough to get is that enough to get a player into a team? Well, only if your name's Dwight. Yeah. No.
All right,
we'll see. Nice one. Nice one for the call.
Nice one, mate.
See you later. Nice one. There you go. Bit of stadium chat, a bit of Oasis chat. Oasis is just managing to get in anywhere, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ned would have a show dedicated to it because he's just dead excited. Aren't you, Ned? Have you done your thing for it?
The pre-sale?
The pre-sale thing?
Ballot thing.
Sorry, what? Sorry, say that word again in English.
The baylot.
The baylot.
Ballot.
The baylot. Is this like a gilet? a gillet?
You just fetch
Have you done it?
You give me, mate.
Do you know who the drummer? Do you know who the drummer is?
Tony McCarroll.
Yeah.
Got him back, have they?
No, it's a question.
It's the question
on it. He's
the most Googled person in the world at the moment.
Oh, Tony McCarroll.
Yeah, because if you want to get into the ballot, you have to answer the question, and that's the question.
I also don't know if it'd be Bonehead or.
Well, he ain't playing the drums, is he?
No, on guitar.
On guitar. Why did he go full monk then? If he's going to play on guitar.
On guitar.
There you go. Well, we'll have to wait and see that. Could be an all-star.
Are you going to try and go watch Oasis?
Am I going to go and try them? Probably, yeah.
Have you got a cagoule?
Have I got a cagoule?
Have you got a cagoule?
Have I got a cagoule?
Have you got one?
No.
Oh. I've got a cagoule and it zips up.
I know, but
ding, 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 ding.
Like, the world and its dog knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
The world and its dog knew that he was doing that. Right, just put Abby on. For God's sake. Hello.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Can hear everything, Gabby.
How are you guys?
Okay. Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, not too bad.
Go on. What do you want to say?
I was impressed with Undai's goal yesterday.
Yeah, fantastic goal. Yeah.
I thought in the second half, I thought he kind of changed the game at 1-0. When he got that goal, that kind of sealed it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. With Beto. I think the problem with Beto is he's got brilliant pace. He can hold up the ball, but his decision making is like somebody who started when they were older, like he did.
Yeah.
Because he started in his the later part of his early 20s, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like 22, 23.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be hard for a player who starts then to get the right for the decision making to come naturally.
No, yeah.
That you can't fault his effort.
Yeah.
He puts in a lot of effort. He should have, when he went for that header, instead of diving like to the side, he just should have dived straight onto it.
Yeah, he should just let it hit him on the head. Yeah, he should have just let it hit him on the head, and it would have gone in.
Yeah. And then didn't he? Was one cleared off the line from him as well? Because didn't he have like 3 opportunities? Didn't he miss 1, 2, and then he scored the 3rd goal?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Was it Garner?
I think Garner
hit the post.
Garner hit the post. Yeah. Irabunum was brilliant last night.
Yeah, he was. He was really good.
I think we've got a bargain there. I think we've got the better end of the deal, given the fact that Villa have sent Dobbin out on loan.
Yeah.
And Irabunum is clearly good enough to start now. You were talking about pace on the wing. If we don't manage to buy 2 wingers, I know he's technically a right back, but could we play Dixon further forward like we did last night?
I mean, I don't think that's his ultimate skill set, but I suppose if it needs be, that's if he's still here at the end of the week, whether they descend.
Or somebody like Okoronkwo, because he's a wide man, isn't he? Well, he's a striker, but he can play out wide.
Yeah, he's a wide forward, but again, he's very raw.
Has he got pace though?
Yeah, he's got loads of pace. I just think he's very, very raw, and I don't think he's at that stage yet where he's quite ready to move into the first team. I don't think he's ready for that step up just yet.
I mean, Harrison Armstrong. I mean, I know he's a centre mid, really, but what other positions is he able to play?
I'm not sure because
could he play wide?
You're trying to shoehorn a lot of players in here, Abby.
No, I know. I'm not.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm just trying to work out if we don't get 2 wide men, who can go there.
Yeah,
because obviously it's not Undai's or Lindstrom's favourite position, and you can tell the better one out wide is Undai. Because I don't think Lindstrom was that good out wide. I think he's better in the middle.
I think attacking players can always play out wide. I think any attacking player can play on a wide because, strictly speaking, a wide player is an attacker. They're just coming in from a different angle. It's not that, but it does. But you need pace out there. That you typically need pace to play in a wide position to beat the fullback and create space for yourself. So
I think the only one we could potentially see shoehorned out wide would be James Garner, because he's done it before, hasn't he? And I don't think he's particularly effective out there, but the manager's used him there a couple of times, hasn't he? I think that's the only one, really. But, hopefully we'll get a winger or two in, so we don't need to.
Garner's done relatively well out there when he's played, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he's more like to be honest, but when he plays there, he's more like he's a right midfielder, isn't he? He's not like a winger as such. He's holding the position, and that's where you want a fullback to bomb past, and we don't really and that actually, I think a player like him gives the manager some security to allow fullbacks to attack. That's because someone's going to drop in then and fill the space for them.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, it could. Was Garner playing more as a number 6 last night, or was that Irbunum? Because I couldn't work out which one was deeper.
I think they were both just sitting really, and Tim Irbunum's more likely to pick up the ball and advance with it. I think his numbers for dribbles last night was really, really high. It was he had I think it was in double figures actually for dribbles for Irbunum last night. So he's the one that the manager wants to see pick the ball up and move forward with it. And Garner's going to play more as a traditional number 6, but really they're playing together in centre midfield and allowing the 3 in front of them to be more advanced. So I think Garner suits that position, because he's good on the ball and he's a good tackler, whereas Irbunum is a little bit more action, and that's where we're going to see the best out of him.
How much did Dwight McNeil really know about the deflection from Irbunum's shot?
I think he knew straight away, didn't he? Because he ran off celebrating it.
Yeah, I think he knew that it hit him, so therefore he knew that it was his goal, because that's the way it is now.
Yeah. But I mean, had that not have happened, that was a thunderbolt. It was a great
goal, and it should be his goal. It should be Irbunum's goal. Just because it took a deflection shouldn't be.
It wasn't diverting away from where
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
The worst thing about it, Everton tweeted,
if he jumped out the way, backed off, then it would be. I think the same. Sometimes when it takes small deflections off defenders, and then they take that as an own goal. It's unfair on the player that strikes if it's not diverting away from the target.
It's just an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just an odd one, because if it come off a defender, it wouldn't be given as an own goal, but because it comes off someone of your own team, they take the goal off you. I had this with Dominic Calvert-Lewin last season when he scored, and it hit Harrison's knee on the way in, and it was like, oh, that's Harrison's goal. But it's not, though, is it? Just because it touches someone, it doesn't make it their goal. They didn't force it over the line. I find it very, very strange.
No, I'm liking some of the players that we're being linked with, though. The wide guy, the young guy from Lyon, the wide player, and the one from Frankfurt look decent.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's good that we're in the market. It's good that they've identified some players, and we'll just have to wait and see whether any of it happens. It's interesting that we have managed to create some space in the budget, let's say, to have a look, but maybe they've looked at the start and said, wait, we have to get some players in. So we'll wait and see.
Before I go, the place we're still lacking that we haven't signed anybody is left back.
Yeah, but I think they'll just say, well, we've got Michalenko and we've got Ashley Young and Dwight McNeil.
Campbell's in and around the first team training as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's his name? Eli Campbell.
Yeah.
And I know he's a centre back, but he can play as a wing back, can't he? As well. On the left.
Yeah.
So, I suppose we have got. And can Harrison play there as well? Because he's left-footed as well, isn't he?
God, I hope not. No, Dwight McNeil can play left back. Dwight McNeil can play left back. In fact, that might be the perfect position for him.
Yeah, I think it would as well.
Yeah.
He was very good going. He's very good in that number 10 position. But going out wide, he's just got no pace.
No.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Thanks Abby. Thank you very much for your call. See you later. Thanks, Abby.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Who've we got now, Ned?
Gaz, last one.
Gaz.
If he unmutes himself.
Which Gaz is it?
The only one.
The only Gaz? The only Gaz in the village?
The Gaz.
Lazy? You mean lazy Gaz?
I wouldn't say lazy.
Well, he is lazy. He's sat in a bed for like 100 days. I mean, doesn't get any lazier than that, does he?
Like the fella in Charlie in the chocolate.
Yeah,
factory.
exactly. And then his lad came and went, Dad, I've won the golden ticket. Let's go. And suddenly he was up, wasn't he?
I heard he abandoned his footy team as well. He just went, I can't be arsed with it.
I heard he abandoned his children.
Oh, that's too far.
Gaz, are you there?
I am here, but I can only hear what you're saying, Ped. I couldn't hear. What golden ticket? What have we done now?
So stats.
No, just saying you were like you were like when Jack was saying you were like in Charlie Chocolate Factory. You jumped out of bed when the golden ticket was presented to you.
Well, that'll be the Oasis. I'm in the ballot for that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. So that just made me think. Last time I rung you, I don't even remember what I said because I was on that much morphine. I was in the middle of a blood transfusion in my hospital bed last time I rung in. So, yeah, at least I'm back at home now.
That's what Everton does to you.
Yeah. Oh, God. I went, it's not why I'm ringing, but I went the Brighton game and too much. I won't be going for a few months yet. It was just literally agony. I had to leave early, which was...
Was he, yeah?
I weren't the only one, but I had a reason for doing it.
Yeah.
But... reason I'm calling up is my concern is with Irabuman. I know not the way you're thinking. He's definitely been the best player so far and a bit of hope and a bit of optimism. But with Garner coming back and with us still looking for a midfielder and Garner Gay was the best midfielder last season.
Nope, Ned, I've lost him. It's
because it's too far away from the other one.
Oh, you just take him and just tell me what he says.
Sorry. Ned, put him back on, please. Sorry. It's because I was being charitable, see?
Yeah. It's where that gets you.
He's lost us.
Oh, because Gaz gone, so it wasn't even us.
No, just connected.
Gaz, where are you? Come back.
He needs some Gaz's gun.
That wasn't us. That wasn't on us.
Them headphones not being charged is on us, though, to be fair.
Was that what they were? They weren't charged?
Yours was on low percentage, but yours is on medium.
I mean, there you go.
Overnight.
There you go. Sure, Gaz was going to make some amazing point then about Tim Irabuman, and he's gone.
I can't believe he said he rang in when he was on a transfusion. That's some commitment.
Well, he was in hospital for like 100 days.
Yeah, and then he went, I need to go,
he took the time.
He had he had an infection in his leg, and you should have seen the pictures of his leg. His leg was like literally just a massive thing right down the middle of it, where he'd had to his leg literally blew up, and he was in hospital for like 100 days.
And he rang in.
Yeah.
Lost fair play to him.
Because that's Gaz.
Yeah,
that's the dedication of our.
He's lazy.
I know, but we were having a bit of a laugh with him. Just having a bit of a laugh with him. Right, before we go, let's have unless Gaz comes back, let's just have a little look at some of your comments. Pachman 86 says, I've just abandoned my girlfriend, hopefully for life.
It's breakup season, isn't it?
Abandoned?
It's breakup season. What's breakup season?
All the lads go on holidays and lads holidays and start looking at other women and going, oh, hang on. This, I can do better here.
Is that a thing?
Oh, I want to do better.
Are you saying that's what? Because he said he's abandoned his girlfriend.
Yeah, so he's gone, you know what? I can do better than this.
Nothing that's...
No, Dad, your mic's not coming through, mate.
Yeah. Jobberberry, you're wrong, mate. You're just wrong.
What's he
just
said?
wrong. He's dared say something about Taylor Swift, and he's just wrong.
I hope it's positive because we don't accept Taylor Swift slander on this channel.
We don't accept Taylor Swift slander. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Listen, them Swifties, if we tell them that you're chatting negative about Eddie,
they'll just come around and
they'll find your address.
They'll just lynch you.
Yeah. Well,
they'll just lynch you.
Don't say that.
There ain't even an argument. They'll just come for you. And they'll just cut you.
I think Evertonians having a go at Maupay was bad, you know.
Yeah.
Them Swifties.
Don't cross a Swiftie, mate. They'll just cut you up.
The Swiftie riot crew.
I'm telling you.
County Road Swifties.
They'll just take you down.
Yeah.
They'll take you downtown, and you won't be ready for it.
Swifties.
They'll just take you.
Swiftie Zulus.
Let's have a look. Just some of
Swiftie
your comments.
headhunters.
They'll just take you. Swiftie headhunters.
They'll get involved.
Yeah. Fair play to them. That's what I say.
Oh wait,
I can hear a voice. Is it Gaz?
Gaz.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
This is Gaz speaking.
Thanks for that, Gaz.
He left and joined back.
Go on. So go on. You were mentioning Tyrrell Boonham. Go on.
Yeah, all it was saying, my concern is he's been a standout for me. I know it's only 3 games in, but yeah, pre-season as well.
Yeah.
My worry is still looking for a midfielder. Dice loves Garner, as in James Garner. Garner gave us our best midfielder last season. Is there a worry that Dice will drop him and not play him because of his age and lack of Premier League experience? Which is my concern because I think he's looked better than anything else we've got.
I think you are right, it is a concern, but then you look at Branthwaite last year, he came into the team and shown a bit of form and he kept his place, didn't he, despite his age and despite his lack of experience. As much as we bemoan this manager, and a lot of it is very deserved, I think if a player's good enough and shows that over a period of time, I think he will stick with him. I think if we end up in a situation where we have rotation options with our midfield and Mangala, from my understanding at least, is he is more of a sitting midfielder than Eric Boonham as well. So maybe if there's an option to buy in there, maybe he's seen as a potential long-term successor to Idrissa Gana Gueye. And then obviously you've got that partnership then, and you've got James Garner who can also play at right back. You can play, if you want to play a 3 in midfield and have someone who will get his foot on the ball a little bit more. But I think options is never a bad thing, but you are right. I do hope Eric Boonham stays in the squad and still gets a lot of football. He has been one of the rare shining lights in this team over these 3 games, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm not too worried about it right now. I think he'll start on Saturday, and then I think it's a case of, let's not forget, Idrissa Gana Gueye's 35, isn't he? He's going to be phased out. He shouldn't be the best player in our team when he's at his best, but he somehow still is. We need Tim Boonham. We need to challenge him to take that role on, don't we, and take over him. Him and James Garner become our new de facto centre midfield. So, see, the thing about it is, on Saturday, I didn't think Boonham was very good. I thought the game passed him by against Spurs. I thought in the 2 home games he's been good, but on Saturday I was a little bit... No, I didn't think he played badly. I just thought the game passed him by. So there will be opportunities where you look at him and go, where does he need to grow? Maybe today's not the right game for him, but maybe the next game is the right game for him. I think it's all about his education. Let's be honest, mate, he's way ahead of what we thought he would be. We thought we were just getting a player that satisfied the PSR, and I'm amazed that we've got a player with the amount of ability that we've got without going overboard about him. So I'm quite happy with it, and let's just see what happens. I think he'll start Saturday. I think James Garner will probably be on the bench just to allow him to just a little bit more game time, and then we go from there. But Tim Boonham's got the space, hasn't he? So it's up to him to keep that now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just worry. I do I can't stand Dice, so let's not get into that one. But that's my concern. I just can't stand the man. But yeah, there you go. That was it. That was my point. Nice. And I know that Ned wanted to get off at 6, and we've overrun, so I'll just keep it brief.
Ned'll get off when I tell him he can get off. I'll lock him in a box.
Ned's gonna stay here until the headphones are charged.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'll just put Ned in a box. Doesn't really bother me. I'll put Ned in. I'll put Ned in a
box 6 feet under.
I'll put Ned in a bed like yours and leave him in there for 100 days and see how he gets on.
You need
come out with chicken legs like I did. Honestly,
yeah, he's got chicken legs now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He looks literally like he's got a big. He looks like a chicken because he's got the little dead thin legs and then a big fat body, and he's covered in like what looks like feathers on his head.
You love my.
It was a great dieting tool. Actually, I went from 16.5 down to 12.5 stone.
There you go, mate. We all know how to get. We all know. You should tell the Kardashians or something. That's how they can market it. The coma diet or something. I don't know. Anyway, nice one, Gaz.
Right,
nice one, Gaz. Take it easy. Nice one.
Right, thank you for everyone who's called tonight. That's why it's the club call.
Club and you call.
I'm seeing slander for Disney, which is just a disgrace.
Where did Disney come into it?
Apparently Joe Strummer will be turning in his grave. Well, that's because he's dead.
Well, that's why he turns in his grave.
Can he if he's dead?
Exactly, he's dead.
But you can't turn in your grave if you're alive either.
Yeah, you can't on a space. You're like, you've never seen that film with Ryan Reynolds in it when he's locked in a box underground?
No.
You can't move. He's like that. You can't do anything.
They still do graves.
Joe,
they're getting a bit too overcrowded now. Start doing ashes and put them all together.
Yes, and then put them together and it'd be ashes to ashes. And it'd be like Bowie, wouldn't it? There you go. Do you know what I'm saying? Joe Strummer. Joe Strummer couldn't strum Taylor Swift's guitar. Never mind anything else.
Do you know what?
Oh, look at me singing angry music.
Do you ever just go for a wander around a graveyard and look at the? Do
you know what, mate? You'll find some of the best history lessons you can going around a very old graveyard.
Oh, look at him.
Go behind the grave.
You just cut about graveyards.
Yeah, Ned goes. Let's be honest. Ned goes dogging in graveyards. Let's be honest. That's a fact. Yeah. Go to the cathedral in town and go to the old gold graveyard behind it and look on some of the graves. You get some great history lessons.
It is half spooky around
not half spooky, fully spooky.
I went to the cathedral the other week for a Sunday roast. It was nice.
You went to cathedral for a Sunday roast?
Sunday roast, yeah.
In the cathedral?
Yeah, there's a bistro in the cathedral.
A bistro in the cathedral?
I'm not really into all that crossing Jesus
Emma,
and all that. But...
It ain't a cult. It ain't a cult if everyone's in it. A cult is for little things, not like Taylor Swift. That's not a cult. That's just the way the world is. Not my fault your car's shite. Not my fault. Stop taking it out on us. You're angry because your bin of a car failed its MOT. That's not our fault. Get a good car. Don't fail. Unlucky. Unlucky. You and Danny and all the other cry-asses who love really weird stuff, not our fault. We love the good stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
And that's why we are happy, shiny people.
And we will get the Swifty service crew once he is, and then you'll be sorry, won't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right, let's leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock, on YouTube. By then, Emma will know exactly what bus she has to take to work. Unlucky.
Do you reckon Taylor Swift's got a cagoule?
Probably. Zips it all the way up and goes dang, 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 dang.